When Assassin's Creed Mirage was officially announced in September 2022, giving us a chance to play as Basim, a character who we'd already know something about from his exploits in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the reception was somewhat mixed between people who had grown to love the new super large open worlds that we saw in Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, whereas other players, notably the ones who've been playing Assassin's Creed since the first one, welcomed a return to its roots, which is more focused on stealth and assassinations. So, whichever side of the fence you sit on, in this video I'll give you 10 reasons why you should be excited for Assassin's Creed Mirage when it releases later in this year. And the first reason to be excited is the gameplay, because Ubisoft are taking us back to the Assassin's Creed roots, so social stealth, faster parkour, and agile assassinations. Ubisoft Bordeaux, which is a primary studio working on Mirage, have come out and said there's a bit of every Assassin's Creed in Mirage, and players can look forward to going back to the roots of the series, whilst also experiencing a modern take on the gameplay and iconic features from the earlier games, which is what many hardcore Assassin's Creed fans have been crying out for a long time. And that brings me nicely onto my next point to be excited about, which is the stealth aspect of the new Assassin's Creed game. Ubisoft have said Mirage has a far bigger focus on stealth in comparison to their more recent games and is more structured around the loop of identifying, hunting, and then eliminating a target and then vanishing into thin air, like it was back in the days of Altair, Ezio and co., which, in my opinion, is the best version of Assassin's Creed. I recently replayed the Ezio trilogy remastered, and I still firmly believe these are the best Assassin's Creed games, even though I did enjoy the more open world RPG style games of Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. Ubisoft have apparently reworked their detection system to allow for more granularity and feedback, and they have structured the city and, of course, its rooftops to better allow for stealth approaches, along with introducing more new tools for combat and escapes, and more on that in just a couple of minutes. Next up, let's talk about the parkour element of Assassin's Creed. In recent games, it's become a less important aspect of the game, so it pleases me to say that Ubisoft has confirmed that parkour is set to play a huge role in Mirage, just as it did when we played as Altair and Ezio. Traversing across rooftops and up buildings in a densely packed Baghdad will be our primary form of navigation, and you want to know the best part about it? Ubisoft have sped up the pace of the parkour so players will feel incredibly agile whilst traversing the city, and they're apparently bringing back some animations and iconic moves, some of which come from Assassin's Creed Unity, which, whilst the game itself wasn't the best in the series, it did definitely have the best parkour system of all the games. So I don't know about you, but I think that's going to be absolutely epic. And the next reason is assassinations, the primary objective of most Assassin's Creed games. The main assassination missions that are going to take place in Mirage are what Ubisoft is calling black box missions, which means they will be contained within Baghdad's various districts, and we're going to get the freedom to chart our own path to our target, which could be done in a variety of ways, such as either blending in with the crowds and following their path, or tracking targets from rooftops, for example. There's going to be a whole bunch of new assassination animations as well to go with these, and there's going to be new upgradable assassin's tools, the ability to set traps within the environment, and of course, the return of our trusted hidden blade. The final addition to assassinations is Ubisoft will be taking inspiration from the marking execute mechanic introduced in Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, which is going to allow Basim to perform multiple stealth kills at once, which is something we've not really seen before in Assassin's Creed games. Sounds rather exciting, right? And moving on, the next reason to get excited about is the setting. And the setting of Mirage is due to be 9th century Baghdad in the year 861, which was the Golden Age, and is also a couple of decades before the events of Valhalla. So during this period, Baghdad was effectively the centre of the world and a key place for knowledge, art, innovation, science, commerce, and power, which means the city itself should be a large, bustling, and very dense city, which has a lot going on. Ubisoft have apparently looked into plenty of historical documents and other cities at the time to recreate Baghdad as accurately as possible. This also means we won't have any vastly open areas like the previous three games where I felt the map was big just for the sake of being big. Like a good chunk of England in Valhalla was just countryside with absolutely nothing going on, so having a large, dense city is a much needed return to form in my opinion. And we're also going to get the chance to visit Alamut, which is the Hidden One's stronghold as well. So, if like me you love the story of Ezio going from a charismatic but restless young man all the way through to being a master assassin, then you're probably going to love seeing Basim go from a young thief to a master assassin we knew in Valhalla. This means that the game is also going to be set narrative driven like the original Assassin's Creed games, so it's more linear than the previous three major installments in the franchise. So, whilst we still have the freedom to explore the city and experiment choosing which order to tackle different assassination missions that Mirage will have, and I quote, a very intense and condensed narrative with a clear beginning and a clear end. This will also mean we shouldn't have to level up to go into certain areas without being easily killed and not being able to kill anyone whilst we're there. So it should also hopefully mean that if you assassinate someone, they actually die, like you'd expect, rather than their health just get lowered a little bit. And the next reason to be excited is we're going to get a couple of new tools, like the detection mine that you can see in the cinematic release trailer, which of course will release a cloud of smoke when triggered. We're also going to get a new blow dart, which is a first for the Assassin's Creed games. Now, I'm not sure if this blow dart will be able to kill enemies, stun enemies, poison them, or indeed do all three, but it should be a nice cool new tool that we can experiment with on unsuspecting guards. Another reason to be hyped is, of course, the size of the game. So, if you've played Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, you'll obviously know their map size and their story length is just rather big. And the stories, especially when it comes to Valhalla, just felt long for the sake of being long, and a lot of it could have been cut down. But Mirage is set to be far smaller than them, which is a good thing in my opinion, because there's a lot of wasted time in the other games. We'll get the chance to explore the entirety of Baghdad, which is split up into 4 unique districts, which includes the industrial area of Kark and the lush gardens of the Round City. And Ubisoft have said that Baghdad's going to be a bustling and dense city with its citizens reacting to our every move, and we'll also get to visit Alamut outside of the city, which is the home of the assassins, or indeed hidden ones as they're known at this point. Alamut has appeared in the wider lore of other games, but this is the first time we actually get to visit and explore it, which is rather exciting. And the final reason to be excited for Assassin's Creed Mirage is the cost. You may be thinking, what on earth am I on about? Well, the standard game costs just $50, which is a tad cheaper than most other AAA games that are coming out now because they're usually $60 or $70. And when you think about the latest Legend of Zelda game, it's $20 more expensive, and I think that's fairly good value for money for a game like this. There are, of course, other editions of the game. There is one which has some Prince of Persia inspired DLC, which costs $60, and there is a collector's edition which has a collector's case, which includes a 32cm Basim figure, a map of Baghdad, exclusive steelbook, and more. But that's going to set you back a whopping $150, so maybe don't go for that one unless you're made of money. But the main thing to take from this is the standard game is cheaper than most other games that gets released these days. And that, folks, are a few reasons to be hyped for Assassin's Creed Mirage for when it is due to be released later this year. Are you going to be getting the game when it comes out? I know I certainly will be. And if you're still here, it would be totally awesome if you could support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. And thank you for watching, and catch you in the next video.